Hey folks, I'm Kuhan. This green screen is poorly lit, and you're watching the NSFW Movie Draft Weekly Recap Show. Howdy doody folks, I'm Kuhan, and I'm starting this episode off with a note. As many of you may have noticed, I told you I'd be returning the daily episodes after Thor came out. And Thor came out a couple weeks ago, and no dailies. Well, that's because I've been traveling, you know, from here and there, and then I haven't always been at the studio, so I don't want to start the dailies and then drop them off after a couple of days and bring them back. It's not very daily. But theoretically, I may have dailies next week. Not getting your hopes up, but after next week's episode, there may be dailies. So if you want a daily dose of Kuhan, which I don't know why you would, if you do, the dailies may be coming back next week. That's it. Now it's time for the show. Alright guys, I'm going to do the full-on disclaimer, not looking at you this time, so... My movies are Fast 5, Cars 2, Green Lantern, Zuckerberg, and The Change-Up. I just wanted to show off my new shirt. See? It's got the cheese. It's a lie. Alright folks, Brandon West, our news guy, kind of dropped the ball this week. So the only piece of news on the site was the 3D Green Lantern trailer playing behind me right now. But never to fear, mon frere. I got more news on my computer box. So that's coming up right now. Speaking of 3D trailers, Transformers Dark of the Moon got one of those things too. You're watching it in 2D, but I mean, I think if you put it on 3D glasses, they may become 3D. I don't know. Ooh, 3D. In TV spot news, we got one for the Zuckerberg.
Nature's biggest secret will be unlocked.
The following TV spots were released on Tuesday. Cowboys and Aliens, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2, Larry Crown, Kung Fu Panda 2, The Change-Up. On the same day, we got this Smurfin' TV spot for the Smurf and Smurfs, but we also got this full-on trailer for the Smurfs the next day, on Wednesday, which would be yesterday, time of release, theoretically.
Hello, Smurfs.
Smurfs. Speaking of TV spots, Green Lantern got 2 more, and since I'm a jerk, hey Blender, they're fighting again, and now they have lightsabers. Okay, they don't have lightsabers, because that actually takes a long time to do. It's kind of a waste of time. I mean, if he wants to put lightsabers behind them, they can, but they definitely did fight. They're probably gone by now, but they definitely did fight. Probably without lightsabers. But that's it for news, by which I mean trailers and TV spots, 4 of which are playing behind me right now because I'm a jerk. So let's move on into the sponsor. That's right, folks. This episode of the NSFW Movie Draft Weekly Recap Show is brought to you by Tijuana Jackson, former convict turned life coach, and you can find him at TijuanaJackson.com. That guy is awesome. Alright guys, I'm going to ignore most of the beginning of April, because if any of those movies are still making money, they made like $6 a pop. So we got Fast 5, still making some dough. Prom, I think, finally made back its budget. Thor made some cash. We got Bridesmaids, still making money, I guess. Priest is it's making cash, I guess. And Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides made a lot of money right away. Which means new leaderboards. We have Brian still in first, Justin still in second, but taking the 3rd slot, we have Jason Howell. He's our man. If he can't do it, Rooker can. And then in a cozy 4th, we got Sarah Lane. That's expected to change soon because she's got some whoppers coming out soon. And also, you know, we got Cargill and Tom tied for 5th because none of their movies have come out yet. I think Cargill's first movie is Green Lantern, which would be my 3rd movie because I got Cars 2. Alright guys, the chat room top 3 is the same as last week, with Sorry Awkward taking first, Grant Brunner in second, and True37 tied with Puppet Works for third. But I have dropped down to 89th, and Blender's taking a cozy 223rd. How's it feel, bro? Yeah. Word. Alright guys, the Hollywood Stock Exchange still predicts Sarah in a far and away first, with Brian in a cozy second, but Tom catching up and only 5 million behind him. And then we got Cargill in fourth, nicely seated there. And then Jason with just in about 18 million behind Jason. So the numbers are definitely subject to change, but you know that looks like that might be how it's going to turn out. I mean, I might expect Jason to go a little bit higher because of the cars, but you know, Sarah did get some big money makers in there. So, you know, we'll see. See how it goes. So with that out of the way, I might as well tell you that tomorrow we'll see the release of both Kung Fu Panda 2 and The Hangover Part 2. It's got a head-to-head battle between Sarah and Justin, and now their heads are colliding. My fly was unzipped. And folks, with that I must bid thee adieu. It's been such a short time together, such a short few minutes. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Kuhan, or go to IamKuhan.com. You can follow my editor, Blendermf. And you can follow him, you can go to MatthewFraser.ca, or follow his new project, Sound Builder, without an E, and not without an R, at alpha.soundbuilder.com, and that's at SoundBuilder. You know, you should check it out. It's still alpha, but it's pretty awesome. And follow Dan Dirks, who coded the draft.nsfwshow.com and /HSX of that same site. And he's cool, at Dan Dirks, dandirks.com. And the hosts of the Draft Time podcast, but not the Giraffe Time podcast, that's a different person. You can follow at Vincent404 and at Aaron Ryder. And their URLs were also there. I'm not sure that Aaron has a URL anymore. You'd have to ask him. But you can definitely also follow Eka Proxy, because she's also there. She hosts that show as well. And with that aside, be sure to follow these guys. They're at Schwood, and at Justin R. Young, and at Regular One at Ace Detect, at Massa Worm, at Sarah Lane, at Movie_Draft, and at NSFW Draft. And they will have witty banter throughout the summer. That's it for the show. Until next time, I'll leave you with the Pie High Dog, photobombing a freaking draft movie, and I will see you next Thursday. Hey, by Tijuana Jackson, or nope. I blew the joke for you, Blender, but not for everybody else. So, sorry about that. I'm just gonna friggin' start that over. That was stupid. Why can't you finish what you started? Why can't you try and Diet 7-Up. You can follow that at diet7up.com probably. If not, you can follow it at 7up.com, because 7-Up is definitely sponsoring this episode. Again. I think I've known it for a long time. Suffice to say, it's been a while. That's how I think of solutions, the adaptations and retributions. I don't even know. Whatever.